All right, so welcome back to Signature Television. This is a Signature Sport, and I am Franklin Imona. Glad to know you're still tuning and logged on to the show. Before we went on that break, I did tell you that we will be discussing more on the Flying Eagles charity progressing into the next round of the ongoing Waffle P Jan tournament. And one woman joins me on the show, an authority in the world of sport. And she is more like a journalist who is well traveled and have done her research when it comes to the under 20. And she goes by the name Madam Joan Iwuchukwu, and she joins me on the show on Signature Sports. A very good morning to you, Madam Joan. Always a pleasure having you join us on the show.
Thank you very much, Uncle Fine. Thank you for having me on your show today.
All right, and quickly we get into the course of a discourse. The Flying Eagles will be taking on the Young Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. And one man talking about the standing captain of the Super Eagles is not a former captain. He is still the captain of the Super Eagles. He formerly played with the Flying Eagles, and he has charged the team to go all out and get all 3 points. He did this via a WhatsApp call to the entire team, and he encouraged them that he was once a player of the Flying Eagles, himself and Kenneth Omero, and he believes that they will get all 3 points. Do you see this call as a distraction or to put them under pressure, or it is a call that will spur them to get all 3 points against Cote d'Ivoire?
If we go by past antecedents, we will understand that Musa is somebody that always have this passion from the national teams, both from the senior down to the junior team. Once the team is doing well or not doing well, he always called them to motivate them. So it is a welcome development to them. With this call, it will spur the boys to go out to win the Junior Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire because they lost their first match. So when sometimes the motivation is there, in as much as he gives out his monetary support, but that motivation as a senior captain of the national team, calling the players, and he's somebody that they respect so much, and he's a legend of his own that put his name there, have marked his name on the field of football of Nigeria. That call will motivate the players to give their all in the next match to see that they get a point to qualify for the next round of the competition.
All right, talking about motivating the players. Information getting to us this morning as that coach Aliou Zubero, we have two of his players ruled out for this one, talking about a certain Aliou and Borobo. But Borobo, in a couple of hours, we are told that he was able to pass a later fitness test and he will be available for the game. Do you see this as a huge challenge for Coach Aliou? I mean, the injury worries in this team.
Injury worries is something that we cannot overlook in teams. But one thing I know with Aliou Zuberi is that he knows how to turn the tides and he knows how to churn out results. If you look at his team in Academy Warriors, Kwara United and so many others, he has done so much to, even with the minimum available resources he has, he uses it to churn out results. So one thing I'm sure is that whether Ali is down or Borobo is down, I believe he has so many other people. At least they went to 23 players. At least one person who can come up to prove himself. That is why they made the team, is it not? So they have to. He will make something out of it to make the team well.
All right, Joan, let's look at the team in all fairness. In their first game against Burkina Faso, they lost that game by a long goal, and they are condemned to win Cote d'Ivoire later today at 4 p.m. Though the Flying Eagles sit bottom on the group of 3, they have a slim chance of making it into the next round, where Cote d'Ivoire won their first game against Burkina Faso by the same scoreline, by 1-0. Do you see the Flying Eagles, in all fairness, making it out of this group?
Since they know what is at stake, and we know that Nigerians who don't accept failures, let's just say the fact about everything. The first match, I would say that would not really play to the level of what we are known for.
Very true.
Because if you watch the match from our left flank and whatever, we were lacking. They used it against us.
We are wasteful too.
We are wasteful, and so we need to bring ourselves together. We need to nip it in to get that result, because everything is at stake. We need to qualify for African Nations Cup. If we're not there, it's just as if something is being taken off from us. It's just like our birthright. Right from time, our youth teams were known for that. So they shouldn't start now to spoil that record for us.
4 p.m. Nigerian time, the Flying Eagles will file against the Young Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. Nigerians are currently on their knees praying for a favorable result. And down here on Signature Sport, it is also our prayers that the Flying Eagles will do us proud. And away from the Flying Eagles, let's move over now to the camp of the Super Falcons as we hear that a new venue has been announced by the Nigerian Football Federation as they prepare to welcome the Algerians in an international friendly. The Super Falcons will be playing their games against Algeria in Ogun State, the home of Remo Stars, known as Ikane. But then, formerly, they were built to play that game at the Mobology Johnson Arena in Lagos, and now they have been told to move to Ogun State. John, it seems that Remo Stars currently playing their football in Ikane, as happens to be the beehives of football in Nigeria. Recall before the under-20 moved to Togo to go partake in the Wafu B tournament, they actually camped in Ogun State. With this new change, a matter of a day actually before they would take on the Algerians, is this what's necessary? Should the federation allow them to remain in Lagos State or move into Ogun State is a very good development for the team.
Have you been to Ikene before? Have you been to that facility?
Once or twice.
Honorable, the owner of that place, the owner of Remo Stars, he's doing fantastic well there. So I think he's at the same time projecting his facilities to the world.
Absolutely.
That he has what it takes to host football matches. Honorable Kule Soname is doing well. He's doing well. I went to that facility. They have hotel, players camp, about 3 field, highly fitted, as in facilities, well, top notch. 3 fields so for the Remo Stars, Beyond Limits, the female team, the under 17 teams, and all they have their football camp there. They built a football camp for all the whole players, whatever team we are playing for. As in what you call a football academy, a football house.
Oh wow!
You is there. Have you been to the office? Is massive.
John, I am not against the
what I'm saying is that yes,
Remo Stars
maybe they are trying to what the federation is trying to do now is maybe they don't want to stress that Mobology Johnson Stadium because most of the leagues are played there. Most competitions from Lagos FAs are played there.
Absolutely.
So
not
they want
football,
to yes, and apart from football, other activities, Lagos Wambe activities. So maybe they don't want to stress the Lagos FA don't want to stress the field.
I see.
So they want to expand and also fill Mikene Stadium.
So for you, it is a welcome development.
Yes,
pushing the Super Falcons in less than 48 hours to a new ground.
Not they will still play Mobology. They will still play in Mobology Stadium, but they want to play in Remo first leg. Then the second leg on the 29th, they'll play in Mobology in Lagos. It's just a 1 hour 30 minutes drive.
Absolutely, see.
It's just a 1 hour 30 minutes drive. So apart from the traffic of Lagos, it's just 1 hour 30. Let me at most 2 hours drive to that place.
Less than 2 hours drive. According to Madam Joan, she does not see any reason for the Super Falcons moving their campground from the Mobology Johnson Arena to the Ikane Stadium right there in Ogun State. We continue to keep you up to speed concerning the Super Falcons as they prepare to take on the Algerian national team. And away from that, let's quickly move over now to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, where we hear that the CAF president talking about Mr. Patrice Motsepe is happy, in his words, that the 2029 African Cup of Nations, talking about the AFCON competition, might be moving to Ethiopia, the Eastern African side. But then it has been a week of Congress, a week of meeting by CAF. But the biggest news we got in the late hours of yesterday has said that Ethiopia's bid to host the 2029 African Cup of Nations has received a massive boost by the CAF president. And he's happy, he has welcomed their bid, and he's seen a footballer moving to East Africa. In 2025, 3 countries will host the AFCON. Talking about Tanzania, Uganda, and maybe Gabon. That has not been concluded, but we will get more information about Gabon's right to be accepted by CAF. Do you see football growing in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia?
The football there is already grown, because if you look at the massive exodus of our Nigerian players,
but they are nowhere in terms of club ranking in Africa.
That's it. But they have the facilities and the remuneration. In terms of remuneration
No
and
doubt.
facilities, they have it. So nobody will go see where they give honey wrong, go where they collect bitter cola. So you understand.
See.
So they are growing, they are developing. Did you watch their game in Cote d'Ivoire? They are growing. It's a football house that wants development. They are picking it from the grassroots and growing. Very soon, there will be a force to reckon with. You understand? In the football sector. So let's give it to them that they have the boldness to say they want to host. Meanwhile, the 3 nations that are talking about 2025, we should be calling it 2026, because Morocco African Nations Cup is next year. So I don't even know whether we are going to host 2 African Nations Cup in 1 year, but which is not possible. So definitely the 3 nations, we are taking it to 2026, because the next AFCON is in 2025, and which is Morocco.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, we continue to keep you up to speed concerning that news. All right, let's go on this break. When we return, we will be moving to the foreign scene, where one man showed why he must take over the left wing, the right wing, I beg your pardon, of the Brazilian national team. It was the man of the match between Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Don't touch your die, as Signature Sport makes a return after this timeout. Right, so welcome back to Signature Television. This is a Signature Sport, and you are tuning to Franklin Imona, your sport anchor, and I've been on the show with Madam Joan Iwuchukwu, and we have been discussing football as well as sport in its entirety from the local scene. And this time round, we move over to the foreign scene. But just so you know, you can follow us on all our social media handle on YouTube as well as other social media handle to like, share and comment on our show, and most importantly to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you get notified anytime we are online. All right, let's move over now quickly to the UEFA Champions League, as one man led his team to a beautiful revenge against the German champions, former champions I must add, Bayern Munich. Raphinha, the Brazilian winger, he was on the score sheet 3 times and he was voted the man of the match. Hansi Flick doing amazingly with the Barcelona national team. He took over from Xavi Hernandez and he has turned the fortune of Barcelona around. Looking at the midfield, looking at the attack, they have been quite impressive. What's your overall take in that game yesterday, Madam John?
I'm a Barca fan for it.
Oh, really?
I would say that Hansi Flick has the magic wand. He has turned Barca into what we know.
But come on, the season it just started.
No,
we have a long way to go.
Excuse me, we just lost only 1 match.
Oh wow,
only 1 match, and we're top on the table. Get Raphinha, don't allow him not to get injury. Once he is on form, he's on fire, he will get the results for you. He's a beast in the field. He gives his all. That's why he's always, sometimes I would say, like, use that word injury prone, because he gives his all in the field of play. I was so happy with that match yesterday, because I would say that there's an angry man inside, because you know what it takes, that we have lost Bayern Munich for 3 times and the goal margin was massive. So I would just say that, I would like to say that Barcelona took their pound of flesh yesterday. It was a massive game because they couldn't get it. They couldn't, and you talking about it, you should know that Hansi Flick was a former coach, so you will definitely know the A and B side of Bayern Munich. He was a former coach.
Absolutely, he
Yes,
was.
yes. So he will know where he could get them and hit them.
After the game, one man conceded defeat honorably, talking about the coach of Bayern Munich, Vincent Kompany, and he said that he played against a stubborn young team. In his words, he said he has never seen a young and vibrant team like Barcelona. I really do not know why he will say that as a coach, because he's belittling his own team. Do you see Vincent Kompany going all the way in the UEFA Champions League, or it's going to be a disaster for Bayern Munich?
I don't think it's a disaster. It's just that it was not their day yesterday, because they've been winning their matches as well too. It's just that they met their match. If you look at the Barcelona team, apart from Noah, it's a very young team. Lewandowski and Noah, let me just say, but Lewandowski is still a top form of his life.
36 years of age.
Yes. So, and you know, when you meet somebody that has a club that has been renewed,
that's true,
by Ancelotti, and they have all it takes. They will go out and they know that they have what is at stake, because losing to a side for like 2 times or 3 times, they will say, no, I would rather not lose again. You can't come and be beating me all the time. One day I will beat you back.
Absolutely. One day I will have my own pound of flesh. That was exactly what one man in Manchester City actually did yesterday when he got a brace in their game against RB Leipzig. 5-0. Manchester City won against Slavia Prague, I beg your pardon, not RB Leipzig. It was a mauling for Slavia Prague. And then Pep Guardiola is a happy man once again. 5-0, the match ended.
Yes, I'm not surprised anyway, because Pep Guardiola always have this magic touch in the Champions League as well as even in the league. But one thing I want to say is that they always have it very easy with easier clubs. You understand?
When you're good,
you are good anyway.
It doesn't matter.
But when you down the tough team, they always have it very difficult to grind the result. Have you watched them this season? So, but anyway, I'll give it to them. They're always a good side when it comes to Champions League. They are giving their best, but all the same, we're still moving.
And for Liverpool yesterday, it was a 1-goal margin against the RB Leipzig. But then a win is a win. Don't you agree?
Yes, it's a win.
But then one man got a goal in his team, but it was not enough to help his team win that match. Talking about Julian Alvarez, former striker of Manchester City. He got the opening goal for Atletico Madrid, but it was a 3-1
I was so disappointed with that result. I said, what is wrong with Atletico Madrid? How can you be scoring somebody and the next thing you collected 5? Hello? Something has to be done, because even in the league side, they've been wobbling this season, off and on. I don't know, maybe they have to go back to see where it all went wrong and come back, correct themselves. If not, Atletico Madrid, I don't see them this season. They are not doing that too well this season.
All right, quickly, let's look at Inter Milan. They won the game by 1-0. But the surprising result for me was the game between Bayern Leverkusen and Brest of the French Ligue 1. Our owner Victor Boniface was not in that game, and the team played out a 1-1 draw against Brest. Florent Viest was the goal scorer for Bayern Leverkusen. Now let me ask you, are you disappointed with the scoreline?
I'm not disappointed. No team is a small team. For you to qualify for Champions League, it's not a fluke. Everybody wants to come out and prove themselves. We too can answer our name. You understand? So if you play well, you get the result. If you don't play well or you underrate a team, you get what you are looking for.
Absolutely.
That's it. That does it.
Absolutely. But then yesterday we did discuss on the show on Bayern Leverkusen throwing in the trials that they would definitely lose Xavi Alonso come the end of the season. Wow. Do you think that happens to be the breaking point for Bayern Leverkusen, because they played impressive football yesterday? Coming up with that kind of information just while we are approaching the first half of the season, don't you think it will cause instability in the players?
It definitely cause instability in the team, because what Xavi Alonso have built, it will take another mile for another coach to come and continue from his own philosophy, because another coach coming in will bring in his own philosophy, and which might may or cause this damage to the team. Some of the players might not adapt to it, some will not some will adapt, or it will, whatever it is, it will affect the team somehow. So whatever it is, they should work it out. And don't, please, they shouldn't even allow that man to go because he's a coach.
He is a good coach, according to Madam Joanne. But quickly, looking at the UEFA Champions League table, surprisingly, Aston Villa are currently topping the team with a maximum 9 points, closely followed by Liverpool with a maximum 9 points, and Manchester City comes third, surprisingly, with 7 points. Monaco is seated on the fourth position with a 7 points. Arsenal, they are currently seated ninth on the log. And now let's go to the big one that will be going down later tonight. Manchester United travels to Turkey to go take on a former coach side Fenerbahce, talking about Jose Mourinho. Looking at these two teams filled with lots of rich tradition, where do you think the pendulum of success will swing? Will it be going to Mourinho's Fenerbahce or Erik ten Hag's
both sides,
Manchester
because they are all
United?
playing for pride and for whatever they have in mind for in that match, because they, Jose Mourinho will have a lot to prove. Man United would like to prove their former coach wrong. Jose Mourinho would like to prove them wrong too as well. So it's going to be a tough match, but let's see how it goes.
Jose Mourinho, known as the king of mind games. Before the game yesterday in his pre-match conference, he said that he would love to come back to the EPL and coach an English side. Do you see him with that statement taking a jibe at Erik ten Hag's job?
We all know that Jose Mourinho is a big clown anyway. Let me just say, because
a clown.
Yeah, he's a big clown because he's always that's why they call him the special one.
I see.
The special one. Then from special one, he went to the only one.
Oh wow!
So he always have his ways. If you want to get the traffic, he always have his way to destabilize people and get what he wants to do. So whoever that has studied with Jose Mourinho, we know that that is his style of game. Whenever he's playing a team he knows very well.
All right, let's look at the game. Manchester United squad, most especially the midfield. Captain Bruno Fernandes will be out for this one. Remember, he picked up a red card in the last game against not FC20, the last game that they played out a 1-1. Yes, he was red carded in that game, and they came back from they were leading in that game at 2-0 at some point, and then they went down to a 3-2. They were losing until Harry Maguire got a late goal to bring the scoreline to a 3-all draw. Yes, they played out a 3-all draw. They will be playing against Fred, who once played for Manchester United. They will be playing against a certain Sofian Amrabat in that team. And up front in the Fenerbahce's attack, they have the experienced one.
And our Nigerian player is there.
Frank Onyeka. We will definitely get that name. A certain Edin Dzeko will be in that team, as well as Dusan Tadic will be playing for Fenerbahce. Do you see these players to be the one to cause the, how do I say it now, puncture the tires of Man United? Or you see Man United having a good squad to face Bayern Munich?
If they have Casemiro, this is where we will see the tactics of Ten Hag, because if your major player, that's the person of Fernandes, is not there, then we'll see how you put in Casemiro if he's going to play. You bring in
Casemiro will be there. A certain Ongate will also be there, and Eriksen will be there.
The other
Kobe Mino is out, injured.
That's very difficult for them. I'm sorry, but anyhow they play, you can see them. They should not do what they want to do. They have to do to see how they can grind out results from Fenerbahce, because even when they are having a full team, they can still go there and flop. But all the same, I'm wishing them the best. I'm not a Man U fan.
You don't have to be a Man U fan to wish Manchester United a very good outing. Recalling their first game against FC20, they played out a 1-1 draw. Their second game against FC Porto, they played out a 3-all draw. And this game against FC Fenerbahce will be a make or mar game for Manchester United in Europe. Finally, before we leave Manchester United and talk about Chelsea, in the UEFA Europa Conference League. Such a mouthful for Chelsea. Our own Nigerian star Samuel Osenyi will be part of the Fenerbahce team to take on Manchester United. But so far this season, he has been a shadow of himself compared to the Samuel Osenyi we saw last season.
He's out injured.
Do you see Mourinho using him at some point in the game, or
in the last match, in the last Europa match, he played well. He even gave an assist. Did you watch the last match?
Compared to the Samuel Osenyi we saw last season, where he was
definitely. Even you and I, we know that once you have an injury, it will take time for you to come back to the psychological effect. It will take time for you to come back to your form. So he's just still coming back from injury. So I think with time he will build up to it. But though Mourinho is somebody that I would like to say is not a patient coach, but I believe that you should give him that time. When he comes back, you will see the real Samuel Osenyi.
Finally, in the UEFA Europa Conference League, Chelsea will be away to Panathinaikos. Do you see Chelsea feeling confident to get all 3 points in this game?
But Panathinaikos is another good team. It's another good side.
Obviously, they are.
They are very good side. When I was watching the names of the teams in that conference league, I was like, these teams, yeah, I don't know their names, but I don't know how they play. But if Chelsea can play very well, they can grind it and pick up a cup from this conference side. But if you underrate any team that you cannot at your own peril, because that team can come and mess you up.
Absolutely true.
So they should just give it their all and keep grinding the result they have been getting so far. That's just it.
For Chelsea, playing in the Conference League, it is not a competition Chelsea fans will be looking forward to, but then they have found themselves in that competition, so we will say it is what it is. For Chelsea, we wish them all the best as they go all out against the Panathinaikos. Before we begin to say our goodbye, let's delve into boxing for just a minute. We hear that Leonard Lewis will come out of injury to come and take on a certain Mike Tyson. This happens to be a fight of the year of two veterans, talking about two boxers who have seen it all in the ring. Madam Joan, this fight, is it necessary, or is it just for the bookers to have a good day watching boxing?
For their pockets.
Oh,
what
wow.
they are going to gain. Definitely, because definitely people, the old generation, the past generation, and even this present generation, definitely there's nobody that have not grown up in the street of boxing that have not heard of Leonard Lewis and Mike Tyson. So everybody will want to see this name. We have been hearing this name for a very long time. This match, let's see what they can offer. Let's see whether they still have it, or let's see. They are old, of course, for everyone's sake. What are they coming back to come and
So for you, it is just a fight.
It's just for fun. It's for fun.
Fight for fun.
Yes.
Triple F. This is how far we can go on the show. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. We must say that, and do well to continue to watch Signature Television and follow us on Signature Sport. It was such a beautiful edition on the show. Don't you agree, Madam Joan? And hopefully we will see more of you on the show.
Thank you. I hope so.
Absolutely, she hopes so. All right, this is where we will begin to say our goodbyes. We want to say thank you once again for joining us. I remain Franklin Imona, and from me to you, I want to say I'm done and I'm gone. God bless, no stress. Bye for now.
Thank you.